Time will show how important this step was in terms of the management and in terms of policy developments. It is part of an overall process towards program rather than the project management, as for example in our new partnership with industry, which is called Joint Technology Initiatives, and with the member states joint programming. Joint Technology Initiatives, we have currently practically working on 5 of them, 4 are practically in the final phase. And it is a new step, as I said, it from the project approach to the program approach. And it is a private-public partnership, so 50-50 approach, which makes additional interesting sides of that project in the program. Finally, we have launched a policy debate about the future of the European research area, nothing less than a new impetus to our research policy. The European Union member states and additional neighboring international partners, plus industry and the research community, are slowly but surely getting together. All together, we are building the European research area, but what actually is our goal? What we want is, of course, the researchers, technology, knowledge to circulate freely, universities to modernize, and national research programs to be coordinated and open to each other. We are creating incentives on removing barriers, so that qualifications, experience of knowledge workers such as you will be portable across borders, so that networks of scientists will have access to the world-class infrastructure, facilities, and to which foreign researchers are drawn and retained, and so that structured partnerships are formed between academia and industry to meet the needs of new products, processes, services, as well as for skilled employees. In other words, alongside of the freedom of the movement of people, goods, services, and capital, which we already have in Europe, we want to create a freedom of movement of knowledge. And this is part also which will be as one of the leading motives of the Spring Council of the Leaders of the European Union. Some of you may think that actually what I'm telling you is a dream, and that the European research area represents many words and little action. But let me give you an example of what the era could mean for you in a bit more concrete terms. I'm sure that many of you are in Europe have found their career opportunities hampered by structural, institutional, and national boundaries. I'm also sure that some of you have already had their experiences with low salaries, cumbersome procedures for the recognition of qualifications you have acquired abroad, or with the portability of your social security and pension rights. We all agree that this situation is damaging Europe's ambition to remain a world-class location for research and development, because it reduces its attractiveness to people like you and to research investment from inside and also outside the European Union. But these programs are not only the nightmare of researchers who are in Europe. You are, as well as researchers working and living in a third country, you could also run to the several risks. I don't want to be pessimistic, but have you ever thought of loss of your social rights despite your contributions? Because the benefits are not exportable. Have you ever thought of any loss of rights because it has not been possible to aggregate periods of contributions or insurance? Or do you feel comfortable with the information you have about your social security rights? However, key issues affecting you are decided and implemented at national level in order to make real progress across Europe. It is therefore first and foremost important and essential to step our efforts in individual member states. In the coming month, I will submit a proposal for the new partnership with and among the member states. This partnership, which we call the Researchers' Passport, will deal with key areas like social security, competition-based, internationally open recruitment, recognition of mobility, fair employment conditions, as well as transnational portability of grants. this proposal will of course be of importance for all of you. This is one of the 5 proposals which we intend to present in the context of the building of the European Research Area in the year 2008. All proposals are based bottom-up on the discussion which we have had last year in the European Union between many of the stakeholders. The other 4 are one is connected to the intellectual property, especially the one, especially in the case where public and private sector cooperate. The other one is connected to joint programming. We have just recently adopted Strategy of Energy Technology Plan, which is the first pilot example of that bottom-up initiative where we are trying to create an environment, a process, in which we would jointly address some of the issues which individually simply can't be addressed. We are clearly trying to create political guidance from the member states, strategic guidance. On the other hand, alliances between the researchers and research institutions who are working currently on that, but also business new initiatives on the European Union level. 6 of them are mentioned in the strategy which I referred to. The 4th activity is connected to the international, to the European infrastructure, where we will propose legislation which would help us that we would come from the list of agreed European infrastructure to implementation of them. Today, we have a good agreement about what we would need to do, but we don't have a good tool, instrument, how actually to bring that to the reality. And finally, as I already mentioned, we are working on an international strategy of cooperation, and this will be the activities which will certainly, all in all, be of the interest practically also to you. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot more to say, or what I can say about the way we are transforming Europe to make it dynamic, knowledge-based economy, within and alongside the 7th Framework Program for Research. Developments are coming thick and are coming fast. The European Research Area is work in progress. We are creating conditions back at home so that you will be also able to enjoy the advantages that draw you to the United States, and should you stay, you will have access to the best partners and also programs in Europe. But don't forget to spread the word about ERA and ERA Link. You are part of the European scientific diaspora. You are, for us, the part of European research area, and we are proud of you. And I also want you to be proud of the European Union. This is not only about history, food, climate, culture. I want you to be proud of what actually we are building now. A strong Europe that can compete with the best and shine throughout the world. A fair Europe that can provide the best for their population, but also to the others across the world. And a responsible Europe that will protect our Earth, the only planet we have, our people, and also other living beings, while protecting biodiversity. Whether you stay at home, or whether you stay here or come home, you can play a part in making Europe a more powerful spring of knowledge, a source of good in the world, and a great place for a prosperous scientific career. We certainly count on you. Now I'd like to give the floor to Dr. Jan Eckhout. He's one whose experience in the demonstration of the possibilities offered by the European research area. I'm very interested to hear his views about the new opportunities available in Europe, and also his experiences with the European Research Council. So, yeah, the floor is yours.